Is my screen visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think I had stopped at this particular point and asked you to draw the diagram also. I hope you have drawn. See if you have done the task, whatever I have assigned, it is for your betterment only. Okay, because I think very shortly your results also will be announced at any point of time. So yes. So moving further. Yeah. So now this particular diagram depicts the functional business system. That is how the information technology in business supports the business so that it can achieve its in the organization objectives. So there are 5 different functional business systems which will contribute towards the IT growth. The business growth with the help of IT. So first one being marketing. So now second is human resource management. Third one is finance. Fourth is accounting, and fifth one is production or operations. So now we will take up each one of it and we'll see what are the functionalities or the characteristics of each of the cross-functional system. So marketing systems, they are basically concerned, yes, marketing in the sense, maybe you would have also heard the best example or a simple example what I could relate to you is if you have, okay, we will take up this way. I mean nowadays most of almost everybody's house, we get newspapers delivered. Maybe now during pandemic, most of us we have stopped, but earlier, at least 2 years down the line, everybody, our parents or our grandparents, they have cultivated this very good habit of reading newspapers, right? So we could see that in few of the issues on few specific days, we get some additional populace or additional, circulations. So it is one of the strategy, very old conventional way of strategy to promote something. It could be any sales, any wholesaler, any products, or any new company or any new shop being opened. It could be with respect to anything. So that is one simple example what I can tell you. The conventional way of marketing. Definitely now there are many more new strategies, innovative techniques to carry out this marketing process. But just to relate, with one example, I just quoted that. Another example is, nowadays the Google, they are more interested to know, because it is personalized based data collection from the Google. So as and when I keep using some applications over my phone or over my desktop when I'm connected to the internet, they intend or they push some content, to me specifically, and if I'm not interested, I can close that, or if the moment I close that ad button which is being popped up on my window or on my mobile screen, which is being pushed from the service provider. So the moment I close, I get some options like, 3 options, whether you would like to see this kind of ad or why you are not interested, or so many things, right? So that is also one of the strategy, new innovative strategy of marketing, because anything of my interest, if I like, I will definitely click the link which is incorporated or embedded within that post, right? So these are some of the examples what I can think of with respect to marketing. And marketing, yes, it is a daily innovative process. It is not necessary that the same thing should be carried out. So any innovation can be introduced with respect to marketing. So marketing systems are generally concerned with planning, promotion, and sale of existing products in existing markets, because the business generally it will be spread across the across different locations. So it becomes very essential for the people who are involved in this system to plan accordingly and see to it that whatever they have planned, it is being executed in the same way. And similarly, development of new products and new markets. So marketing system is not only concerned with promoting or selling of the products which are already there in the warehouse or in the go down. It is also with respect to developing how to develop new products, and what are the new market trends, what the generation or the customers, loyal customers, are looking for. A complete survey or a complete study in that aspect is also an added value. Similarly, better attracting and serving present serving both present and potential customers. So always attracting more customers, that is one of the key point for any business growth. And apart from that, we should not, I mean, the business organization or the business people, whoever is involved, they should not leave off, or they should not be left unconnected with the existing and the existing customers. And not all customers might respond to whatever the company or the business or the organization share, but there are few customers, who definitely respond, definitely try to give a lot of inputs to improvise their products. So those customers are called as potential customers. So moving further, so you have one marketing information system here, the complete cycle. So initially you have customer life cycle. So customer life cycle involves these three phases. So acquire, enhance and retain. So the customer will acquire the product, the customer will enhance the usage of the product what they have procured or what they have purchased. And if this is all whatever I'm explaining, it is from the perspective of the customer after the customer is procured the product. Okay. And retaining is retaining a loyal relationship with the company or the organization. Okay. So this is one. And next is CRM, is customer relationship management functional solutions. So what are the different kind of solutions, which can be foreseen or which can be provided with respect to strengthening what customer relationship management. So it could be direct marketing, cross sell and upsell, and proactive services. So again, with apart from these three things, even the Salesforce automation and the customer support, because now information technology or IT tools and IT, various service providers or applications, they automate everything, they automate, right? So now even in fact there's one company called as Salesforce also, right, which is completely into e-commerce. So there are different functional solutions also. And similarly, CRM integrated solution, you have the internet, the World Wide Web, and the database. So this database is a customer database definitely, and it will be shared because there are so many integrated cross-functional system which might require to view the same record or the same data of some specific customer or some specific subset of customers, right? So shared customer data, collaborative service. So again, the company requires this database. Similarly, the other global partners who are collaborated with the company, they might also require the same database, and sometimes the customer also, because so when we log in, and few portals, in fact, they provide the login facility for the customers also. So the customer also can log in at any point of time, from his device or from his point of contact, and then he can keep a track on what are the new products which is being launched by this particular company, or which were the products which I have taken from this particular company. So the complete history will be maintained. So it also requires that the customer also should have the access to the database. So again, it's important, like how much of access or how much of privilege is given to each one of it. Again, there that depends, because not all data should be projected to all the users who have the access. Next, interactive marketing. This is very important because this is completely customer focused or customer concern, customer centric marketing strategy. So a customer focused marketing process is the interactive marketing, and definitely it makes use of the internet, intranet and extranets. And why interaction? I keep insisting communication or interaction is the one medium or one kind of one kind of medium to express our views, right? So the more we interact, we feel comfortable and we start sharing a lot of inputs or some thoughts. So the same strategy is adopted even in case of interactive marketing. So it establishes two-way transaction between a business and its customer or potential customer. Sorry. See, you might have witnessed, personally, in fact, if you go for any showroom to purchase maybe any home appliance product. So if you're not interested with that particular product, then maybe the salesperson or the salesman who is associated with you, to show to show various home appliance products, he or she might start asking you a list of questionnaire, just to make you feel comfortable and just to get an idea what exactly you are looking out for, so that he can just go to that particular product and show you or demonstrate you as a customer, and you will be happy and you will become a loyal customer to that company, right? So it is again that is achieved only through interaction. So interactive marketing is one of the important strategy. And what are the goals of it? Profitably use networks to attract and keep customers. So in order to retain a very good business growth, in the competitive global market, retention of customer is very, very important and crucial, right? So again, the more number of customers you have, value added customers associated with your company, the more profit you gain, because you know that these are the set of customers who will always depend on what you produce, what you market, what you sell, right? So it's again helping the profit aspect of the business. So profitably use networks to attract and keep customers, and get customers to help create, purchase, and improve products and services. So that was interactive marketing. And when we come to target marketing, it's an advertising and promotion management concept with 5 targeting components. So these are the 5 different components. So it is called as targeted marketing. And what are those 5 different components? Online behavior, demographic or psychographic, the context, the content, and the community. So these 5 things become very essential, and definitely the target marketing is like, see how I was mentioning about the personalized recommendations, coming to my account when I sign in with respect to Gmail is completely different when when I sign in with the help of Hotmail or Microsoft ID. The kind of recommendations what I get, definitely it might differ. So online behavior is very important, because each and everything, we say that we've been monitored for every millisecond or every instance of time we've been monitored. So online behavior of any customer or any user, internet user is important. And based on online behavior, definitely, the demographic or the location where that particular customer is, or what is his psychology. A lot of survey and studies also being done. Again, this is based on individual user and customer. What are the contexts, in which context I had browsed something, so that is also important. And what kind of content I look for generally when I am online, what kind of content I look for, whether it is only papers related to data mining or IoT or machine learning or data science, or is it something else with respect to only shopping, I look only for accessories. So it depends, based on what content I look, and in what kind of forum I generally communicate, what kind of community I try to relate. See, people who are very much into social media, you people try to communicate or share everything on Insta or on Facebook. But there are some people who don't like these social media. They generally like to interact over their own personal blogs, or they would like to connect with multiple like-minded people on some particular platform. It could be researchers platform, or it could be some other platform, the Google Scholar platform. So again, there exist many community and many like-minded community. So there is a separate community or a forum for people who are expertise in wireless sensor networks. Similarly, in IoT, or it could be in blockchain, or it could be in data science. So there the community becomes important. So exchange of ideas, knowledge sharing, knowledge transfer becomes important in this sort of community. So these are the 5 different components which are essential for targeted marketing, because the marketing is target and it's targeted, or it is very specific, with respect to a group of people, or it could be for one single user. So community, yes, customize ad to appeal to specific virtual community. So this I was just discussing. Content, ads placed on a variety of selected websites aimed at a specific audience. So it's only specific, personalized. So context, again, ads placed on web pages that are relevant to a product or service. Demographic or psychographic, web marketing aimed at specific types of classes of people. And online behavior, yes, promotions tailored to each visit to a site by an individual. So how many times I visit one particular website, frequently? What is the frequency of me visiting, for example, what is it? Yeah. Yeah, google.scholar.co.in, there we get a lot of papers, in fact technical papers. So what is my frequency of visiting that particular site? That signifies my behavior. So similarly, with respect to individual website, the user browsers, they will categorize the users, and those categorized users will be pushed the same type of content, or it could be the same type of ads, right? So these are some of the important components of targeted marketing strategy. Next is Salesforce automation. So outfit Salesforce with notebook computers, web browsers, and sales contact software. So everything is automated, right? So connect them to marketing website and the company intranet. And what are the goals? It increases personal productivity, definitely yes, and it speeds up what capture and analysis of sales data. Since you are using IT tools to automate a lot of things, in fact, so you can quickly capture, you can quickly, slice the data. Okay, data, that it's called as data slicing. You can slice the data horizontally, vertically. So if you slice the data horizontally, you'll get some set of records extracted. If you slice the data vertically, then you will be able to extract few columns, right? So based on that sliced data, you can in fact do a lot of analysis also. And with that analysis, you can definitely gain the strategic advantage, and you can plan well in advance what strategy will be the best for this particular or this category of users. Next, manufacturing information system. So till this point we saw marketing, and now it's manufacturing information system. So yes, so just continue. I just want to check how many of you have joined. Okay. So manufacturing support information system, it generally is concerned with the help of production, production department. So it supports the production or operation, and now there's a department which is called as O&M, that is operation and maintenance. So sometimes the manufacturing division also takes care of production, that is there, but along with that they will also take care of O&M, that is operation and maintenance. Includes all activities concerned with planning and control of the processes producing goods or services. So this is again computer integrated manufacturing, CIM. So this is the diagram. So you can see here, enterprise resource planning involves all these phases, and this is with respect to computer integrated manufacturing. So when you see with respect to manufacturing resource planning systems, you have production forecasting, production scheduling, material requirement planning, capacity planning, production cost control, and quality control. So it's not sufficient that you just procure some raw materials for the production of the products. It is also important that how you can control the cost, you can minimize the cost, how you can enhance the quality of the product, and to what capacity the manpower, existing manpower, can handle this production load, and how the the logistics or the raw materials, what is being got by the company, it should be distributed, to others. Okay, so material requirement and scheduling, forecasting, all these are very important. Similarly, when you come to manufacturing execution system, you can have this shop floor scheduling, because it is execution system. So again, see, in very huge plants or organization, to get any specific product, they will have lot of list of directions, or a big a display will be there, graphical display, where it will be mentioned that if you have to procure this particular spare part or any specific item, then you have to visit a left wing or right wing, or block A, block B, second floor, third floor, and so on. So shop floor scheduling is important. Shop floor control, again, how many raw materials were moved or transferred on that particular day. So that is also important. Machine control, definitely yes, and robotics control, where the few spare parts or the few raw materials, in fact, they have to be stored every time, constantly in very high temperature, very high temperature. And in those high temperature, human beings cannot go and get those materials. So there definitely robotics are required, robo arms are required to carry them, or to combine them with something else, or you can have the amalgamation of those materials which are maintained at very high room temperature or high temperatures. And definitely the entire process also should be controlled. And with respect to engineering systems, you have definitely see computer aided designs there, computer aided engineering, computer aided process planning. So all this is with respect to automation, where computers are used, right? Where IT tools are used, or IT applications are used. And it is complete engineering system, because a well-defined process which works in a very systematic way, one step after the other, is adopted. So it is applicable with respect to design, engineering, process planning, and product simulation and prototyping. See, sometimes it's important that before the company starts manufacturing the products, they have to simulate it. Okay, because I think the best example is in the last semester you had the networks lab, right? So there you have the facility of adding 100 nodes or 1000 nodes or any number of nodes. With practically working with physical real nodes is very difficult. You cannot have 1000 nodes or 1000 system, right, host system available to you at one place or on one instance of time. The same thing you can think of doing it in simulation, right? You can connect two different systems, or you can connect 100 end systems, or any number of system with respect to any topology the way you want, right? So, and you can see what is the performance, what are the values of few key parameters, or quality of service parameters. So those achieving in reality or in real time, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's time consuming, and at the same time the cost will be very high, right? So simulation, product simulation, people generally do simulation first, and then only if they feel yes it is good, the accuracy is good, or the quality is good, only then they go for manufacturing in real time. Next is computer integrated manufacturing objectives. Excuse me. So three important objectives with respect to computer integrated manufacturing are simplify, automate, and integrate. So say the simplification, right? So simplify each and every process involved in manufacturing the end product. So it could be a simplification of the production process, it could be simplification of the product design, it could be the simplification of factory organization. And similarly, it is not limited only to these three steps. It could be extended further to many more processes also. And next, automation. Automate production process and the business function that support them. Now, a simple example, just to quote, we will receive so many mails, every day, and now the Google have facilitated us to segregate our mails. So we have three different sections which was not available earlier. So whenever you log in into your mail account, just have a look. You have three different sections, right, or categories: primary, social, and promotion, right? So initially all the mails were dumped into inbox, that is primary, right? Or I mean, you didn't have even primary also, it was only inbox. So everything was dumped there, lot of ads, lot of promotional mails, lot of spam mails, everything was dumped in inbox. And it was very difficult for us to filter out, or maybe sometimes the important mails were overlooked, right? We were missing some important mails, thinking that okay, all these are only promotion or only ad mails what we have received. So now it's been categorized. So even the spams also, we have a spam folder. So the mails which are very suspicious and which the Google server feels that it might be sent through some phishing servers or some unauthorized server or systems, then those mails get dropped into the spam folder. And some people or some users, Gmail users, they go even one step beyond. They want one another step of security to be attached, or to be included to their mails, or the inbox, or the mails which comes generally to the inbox, that is box B notification. You might have seen that. So if an unknown sender sends a mail to you, it'll generally go and sit into their box B notification folder, right? So only if I permit, okay, this sender is familiar to me, if I'm fine, only then that mail will be appearing in my inbox. So there's so many other things, right? So you can automate anything. So this is everything now manually done, right? So you can in fact write, you can program bots now, software bots. We used to hear about robots, hard robots or mechanical robots which had arms, legs, to do some heavy task or something. Now it's like even software robots can be designed, it can be developed to automate our everyday or daily routine task, right? So automation is important. Next, integration. So integrate all the production and support processes using networks, cross-functional business software, other information technology. So when I see a lot of cross-functional business systems existing in the overall business organization, it's important that they need to integrate, they need to coordinate, communicate, okay, in order to finally, the ultimate goal or objective is to see to it that the business is moving forward to get the profit, right? So integration is, they have to integrate. So this integration can be achieved using networks. Definitely, that's important. Again, networks is important because it could be use of internet, or it could be intranet communication only between the employees of the same organization, or it could be extranet communication between the companies of different organization. So it's equally crucial. Next, CIM systems. CIM systems. So you have computer-aided manufacturing (CAM). So this is to automate the production process. Manufacturing executive systems. So this is to monitor the performance of the information system for factory floor operations. And process control is definitely the control with respect to the ongoing physical process. And machine control, it controls the actions of machines. So now even it's not necessary for any human being, there's no human intervention at all in view of the very huge plants or huge business or huge manufacturing sectors. Everything has been automated, and only by instructions only, the machines, huge machines, will complete their task for which they are. Next, moving on further, human resource management is HRM. So information systems designed is it's to support what planning to meet personal needs, development of employees to their full potential, control of all personal policies and programs. So if a business is to be made to run successfully, then it's important that people are working in the organization at different levels, because everything cannot be done by one single man. Yes, definitely we say one man army, but Still, it's important that to execute the task should be divided, right? So divide and conquer rule should be applied. So until and unless the task is being divided and it is being given to different groups, and finally we all, it's like merge sort, right? You keep assigning or dividing the element until finally each element is sorted in such a way that finally when we just merge we get back the final array, so something like that. So if there's a huge task given to any organization, then rather than tackling it alone or individually, it is always better to divide the task and give it to various people or various human resources available in the organization in their different hierarchies. And finally, when each of those different people or group of people execute that particular task, and when they get the solution, when everything is integrated, or when everything is collaborated, finally the organization or the people at the highest level who had got that particular problem will give the solution to the service provider, right? So it is that way. So planning is very important, development of employees to their full potential. And in some cases, to carry out those tasks which is being divided requires some skilling, right, or some skill set also. So it becomes necessary that the employees are given training, initial training, so that they will get equipped themselves with respect to the skill required, and at the same time with respect to how they have to carry out certain processes, because certain things need to be done the way it is to be done, right? So you cannot adopt a new strategy to do something, right? So it's important. So development of employees to their full potential. Next, control of all personal policies and programs. So ultimately, if the employees are not getting any benefit, or if the employees are not having some policies, see, not all employees will work in the AC room or in the companies with laptops, right? There are employees who literally have to work at a very high risk factor. So that risk factor could be so very high that during their process of working daily, they might tend to lose their life also. Some risky jobs are there, and we know there are some places or organizations where the task is very very tough. And in such cases or in such instances, the family dependent of that particular employee need to get some benefits, and for those everything should be documented. Some policies or regulations should be drafted, so that if somebody loses their life during their work time at the workplace, then some compensation or some additional allowances should be given to their family dependents. So it's important. Only then the people who are working in the organization will all work together cordially to achieve the objectives of the organization. So you can see here the complete HRN systems. So staffing, training and development, and compensation administration. So strategic system, this level is maintained by strategic system, and similarly the second level is maintained by tactical system, and the final one is done by operational system. The staffing includes what? Human resource planning, labor force tracking. Next, tactical system deals with labor cost analysis and budgeting. See, what happens is anybody cannot just come and ask that you have to pay me this much only then I will do the task or do the work, right? So each one, the salary structure or the salary component is being defined very clearly, right, in whichever sector the people works. So it could be the daily wages of the employees working at a different construction site, or it could be the daily wages of the guest faculty who engage the number of sessions, in very very big institutions, along with permanent employees on roll. There could be some guest faculty from other companies, or some senior professors who are already retired. They could be invited to engage some guest lectures. So their wages or their salary might be decided with respect to the number of hours they engage. So there are so many different aspects which they have to look into. So that will be taken care by tactical system. So labor cost analysis and budgeting, then turnover analysis. See, I cannot give the assurance to somebody saying that I will pay you every month, some amount randomly. I cannot say, because I have to work out what is my overall turnover for one particular financial year, and what is the expenditure out of that turnover or the revenue what I get. What is the expenditure, what is the benefit I get, or what is the profit I get, and out of the expenditure only I should be able to calculate and divide it to various divisions. So it's important to analyze the turnover also. Similarly, operational system, they will take care of recruiting, workforce planning, and scheduling. So you might have heard, your seniors telling, or your alumni friends telling that, yes, I've been selected in that particular company, but I've not got a call still. Why? Because until and unless the company will not get new projects, and that new project requires some, employees or some human resource to work upon that, they will not initiate the process of sending the offer letters or joining letters. Offer letter, yes, they might receive it immediately, but at least the joining letter they will not send it immediately, right? Some students need to wait for 1 month after graduation, 2 months, and some, there are cases where even students have waited literally for 6 months, to get their joining letter and the joining date. So it depends. So all that will be handled by this particular system, operational system. Similarly, when we move to training and development, succession planning, performance appraisal planning. So even this is important. See, in most of the companies, especially when you join as a software engineer or software trainee as designation, most of the companies, they put you on bench, so that you will acquire or you brush up the skills what you have learned. And also importantly, software engineering, they, all the organizations especially, they want their employees to know the software engineering process so very well that they insist you, or not insist, because you will be hired, you will be paid, in fact, so you have to do it. Okay, you have to do it. So you have to learn again the software engineering textbook written by Ian Somerville. You have to know the concepts, and if there is assessment carried out by the company team, then you have to take up the assessment. If you score well, if you get a good grade or marks, only then maybe you will be considered to take up projects, otherwise no. There could be so many strategies. So one simple thing I'm just quoting. So succession planning, and similarly based on your performance, there could be some appraisals meeting, appraisal hike also with respect to your package, and training effectiveness and career matching. So training effectiveness. So see, when the company is ready to spend on you people, on the human resources, any amount, to get the required skill training, then to what extent the training was effective, that feedback, that assessment need to be done. Otherwise, the company will not get an idea how effective the training was. That is important, and based on your expertise only, the matching will be done, the career matching, right? So it is not that the person who is not aware of assembly language program will be put into Samsung R&D programming division. No. So it's important, career matching is important. So skill assessment, performance evaluation are part of operational system. Similarly, when we come to compensation administration, strategic systems deal with contract costing, salary forecasting, and tactical system, they deal with compensation effectiveness and equity analysis, benefit preference analysis, and payroll control and benefit administration. So HRM and the internet. So recruiting employees using the corporate website and commercial recruiting services, posting messages in selected internet news group, and communicating with job applicants via email. This we all are familiar with the process of recruitment. This is with the help of internet, and how it's been done with the corporate intranet. So corporate internet uses process common HRM transactions. It allows round the clock HRM services because it is intranet within an organization. So disseminate information faster than through previous company channels, and then collect information from employees online, allow HRM tasks to be performed with little HRM department intervention, and finally the training. So employee self-service, intranet applications can allow employees to view benefits, enter travel and expense reports, verify employment and salary information, access and update personal information, enter time-sensitive data. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Accounting information we will just take up in the next class. Till now, any doubts, students? Any doubts? Any doubts? No doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, then I'll just wind up the class. Thank you. Okay, before leaving, 1 minute, let me take attendance.